my scary stories are real. And this is called Manipulative Spirits. If y'all want to see this series that I'm about to do, y'all gonna have to hit me up on YouTube. We Coming For You podcast. Yeah, so let's talk about it. If you have a child and that child comes to you and tells you things that they shouldn't know. Let's say if your child comes to you and says it's a brown-skinned lady that follows them, and her name is Susan, and you know Susan is your great-great-grandmother. You know who Susan is, but you're a small child, never seen Susan, don't know what type of person Susan is or whatever. So you get a photo album out and the child picks out Susan. That is the person who is guiding your child. You know as a parent what it looks like, what its intentions are. Now, 3 things I'm going to tell you as a parent if you got a child that's gifted. If that child goes into a place or is around Pacific people and that child starts to get anxiety or they want to leave, then you get your child and you leave. If your child comes to you and regardless of where y'all at, and they tell you something about somebody, it is your job to tell that person. So if that child come and say, that man right there gonna have a heart attack, you need to tell that man he's about to have a heart attack. And the most important one is to save your child's energy. Protect it. Protect your child's energy. And number 4, get them some spiritual counseling. So, this is my story. I remember my childhood very vividly. I grew up in a abusive household, and my dad never touched me. All the physical abuse was on my mom. And I remember loving to have tea parties. My mama used to buy me all type of doll babies, teddy bears. If them shits came out, I had it. So it was a thing back in the 80s where we had these China glasses and we stayed in the projects. So instead of me having tea, I had Kool-Aid. And instead of me having fancy little sandwiches, I had grilled cheese sandwiches made especially by the iron. Yeah, we used to get that big block of cheese and get the butter, the toast, and put that goddamn iron on it. The best grilled cheese sandwiches ever. And I remember this specific day I was having me a tea party. And it was something big that I was having. Now this tea party was something big because my mama just had brought me this pink pop-up teddy bear by Mattel. Mattel came out with it in 1986. So I was around 6 years old. So as I'm sitting there, having a tea party, all of a sudden, it looked like my closet and the inside had caught on fire. So my mama, she was in the room talking on the phone while I was playing in the room. So I ran in the room or whatever. And I was like, my closet on fire. So my mama jump off the phone. She run in the room. She looking in the closet. She pulling out shit. She was like, what you in here playing with matches and stuff? And I'm like, my closet was on fire. I'm like, I'm sitting here, at the sea party, and the closet, like, it blew up, right? So my mom, she looks at me crazy. And she looks around, and she said, that's not funny. And I hope you ain't got no matches and no lighters in here. So I'm looking at her crazy like, you don't smell the smoke? So my mama go back in the room. She get on the phone with whoever she talking to. And I guess they asking her, like, what happened? And she was just like, nothing or whatever. So I go back and I look in the closet. And because I know I seen that closet catch on fire in the inside. So a couple of days pass. And I'm looking for something in my closet. So now we in the projects. And them closets was really big. So on the other side, I seen a light flicker in the corner of the closet. And I go and I move like the toys out the way, and it was sitting on the floor. And it was very small. And as I look close, it was something standing over a conjuring, like it was cooking something, right? And every other day, when it wanted me to see what it was, it'll light up the closet. Now let me mind you now, I'm a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid. And I stopped having the tea parties. So now I'm in the closet. I remember one day by my mom and my dad going through whatever they going through. My mom didn't want to have anything to do with him, so like when he would call the phone, she would give me the phone. So I got on the phone and I told my daddy some shit. And my mama ran over and she snatched the phone from me. She was like, what did you just say to him? How do you even know that? Right? So me being a kid, I don't even know what I did wrong. And she yelling at me. Right? And the look in her face, she just kept saying, why did you tell him that? So I have this auntie, had this auntie who stayed in Miami, Florida. She was born with a veil over her eye. She was born and they had to cut her out, her sac. My mom calls her and she come to the city to see me. And she's at my grandmother's house. Now I'm at my grandmother's house, we're going to say 100% of the time. So my grandmother leaves and me and her is in the house by herself. My friend said, go walk up on your auntie right quick. I walked up on my auntie. She flinched up. She said, get away from me. Get away from me. I'm like, oh, this bitch is crazy. Right. Next day we go home. And my mom's looking for something. So all of a sudden I look up under the chair. And I see my little friend. It had appeared to me. It was very tall and dark. And his eye sockets was full of fire. And his clothes looked like burning coal in a grill. And it smelled like smoke. Share with 5 people and I'll finish this story. That's right. Y'all can join me on We Coming For You podcast on YouTube.